And we had great events all over Iowa, and then we went to Chicago, and in a few days' notice, we packed the place. Some 800 people came out. Then we got on a plane. We went to Nevada. We went to Reno, and we had the largest presidential campaign event up to now in Nevada. We had about beautiful evening. We had about 4,000 people outside at the University of Nevada at Reno, and then we went to South Carolina. And in 2 days, we spoke to over 9,000 people in South Carolina and had the largest political presidential events in South Carolina this campaign. And then last night, we were in Salem. We had some 1,100 people coming out. This morning, Monday morning, we were in Conway, and we had 750 people. This afternoon, we were in Berlin. We had 325. And thank you all for being out tonight. This is clearly the campaign that's on the move. This is clearly the campaign that's going to win here in New Hampshire and throughout this country. But it's not just large turnouts in meetings. What we have seen in a time when big money is dominating the political process, at a time when candidates are begging millionaires and billionaires for campaign contributions, we have said loudly and clearly, we are not going to have a super PAC. We are going to win this thing or lose this thing based on the support of the middle class and working families of this country. And I'm really very proud to tell you that this campaign, which is only 3.5 months old, has already received some 400,000 individual contributions, more than any other campaign. And I'm also proud to tell you, other candidates might not be proud of this, I am. The average contribution is all of $31.20. So what this campaign is about is an interesting question, and we don't know the answer yet, to be frank. Can a candidate running to support the middle class and working class without big money, without the support of billionaires and millionaires, win an election? Yeah. I think we can. When you pick up the newspapers, what you hear, what you read, is this candidate has this billionaire as a sponsor. This candidate has raised $10 million in an evening event over there. That's what politics is about right now. And we are saying that no, we don't agree with the corporate agenda. We're not going to make the rich richer. We're going to stand with the middle class and the working class of this country. What I believe from the bottom of my heart is, yes, they've got the money, Yes, they control the economy. Yes, they heavily influence the political system. Yes, corporations control the media. But when millions of people are prepared to come together, white and black and Hispanic, young and old, gay and straight, men and women, people who were born in America, people who have immigrated to this country, they may have the money, they may have the power, we have the people, and we can beat them. Often I am asked, often I am asked by the media, and I say, well, why is your campaign generating so much excitement? So many individual campaign contributors. Why is your social media going off the charts? And why are so many people getting involved? And I think the answer is pretty simple. The American people are sick and tired of establishment politics.
Yes. Yes.
They want bold ideas,
Yes.
and they want a movement to take on the people who control America. The American people understand that corporate greed is destroying this country. And they want that to end. They understand that American politics is now dominated by big money interests. They want us together to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision. And the American people, and sometimes my friends in the media get a little bit upset with me. And it's not personal, because I get covered as well or badly as anybody else, so it's not that at all. But I think what the American people want is a media which looks at the real problems facing America, does not look at politics as if it were a football game or a soap opera. This campaign is not about Bernie Sanders. It is not about Hillary Clinton. It's not about Donald Trump or Jeb Bush or anybody else. This campaign is about you and hundreds of millions of Americans. It is about whether you and your kids are going to have decent jobs and decent income. It's about health care. It's about climate change. It is about a corrupt campaign finance system. It is about addressing the real needs of the American people. It is about... The stakes are too high. And let me be the first and only candidate, I think, to tell you a truth, which is not a pleasant truth, but is one you need to know. And that is, no president of the United States, not Bernie Sanders, not anybody else, can go into the Oval Office and effectively address the enormous problems facing this country alone. And the reason for that is that the powers that be, corporate America, the Koch brothers, corporate media, large campaign donors, Wall Street, are simply too powerful for one president to be able to make the changes we need. The only way we transform America is when millions of people stand up together and say enough is enough. we have got to make clear is that this great country of ours and our government belong to all of us, not just a handful of very wealthy people. Today, you and I live in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. But most people in New Hampshire and in Vermont and throughout this country, they don't know that. They don't know it because they're working 2 or 3 jobs. They don't know it because they can't afford health care. They don't know it because they can't afford to send their kids to college. The truth is, the reason they don't know it is that in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, almost all of the new wealth and income is going to the top 1%. And together, you and I are going to change that. Now, my Republican colleagues start shuddering when people talk about redistribution of wealth. They get very nervous. But the truth is, as I hope most of you know, that in the last 30 years, there has been a huge redistribution of wealth in America. The problem is the redistribution has gone in the wrong direction. While the middle class has been disappearing, the top 1/10 of 1% has seen almost a doubling of the wealth that they own in America. The truth is that in our country today, we have more income and wealth inequality than any other major industrialized country on earth. And the gap between the very, very rich and everybody else is wider today than at any time since 1928. And let me be very clear. There is something profoundly wrong when the top 1/10 of 1% own almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. That is not the economy we want, and that economy is going to change. All over your state and my state and throughout this country, people are working incredibly long hours, and in some cases they're struggling just to put food on the table to feed their kids. Let me be clear. It is profoundly wrong that 58% of all new income generated today goes to the top 1%. Together, we're going to change that too.